Welcome to Late Night Vibes with Anil Sohani here on NTV Houston. Thank y'all so much for joining us. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. So thank you. Oh, please, come on. There's too much fanfare. I'm joking. Because we take social distancing very seriously. And again, like I said, every episode, I'm very excited. This is episode 11. That's right. You hear me saying very times 11. Special guest coming into the studio. He is a world-renowned chef, worked with some of the best alongside internationally as well as on the ocean. We're going to have the executive chef of Musaafer, one of the latest additions to Houston's gambit of top-tier restaurants. In a bit, Mr. Mayank Istwal is in the studio, so sit tight. It's going to be a great time talking to him and learning about food history and so many things in between, as well as his journey to the top of the food restaurant, overall gambit of top-tier restaurants. Let's just say that. Pretty pumped, like I said, to have him in the studio, and all you fine folks watching at home. We're talking about food history today, basically. As you recall, last episode we had my dear buddy Abbas Danani, aka Houston Eats, in the studios talking about food and all the food, yummy places to eat in Texas, in Houston in particular. So I figured this time around, since we're talking about not just food, but food history, I'll give you guys some fun facts about some of the most basic pieces of food or in your kitchen, or items of food in your kitchen today. So let's get into it. Let's see. Hi, this is an interesting one. I didn't see this one coming. The most stolen food in the world, can you guess? Drum roll, please. Is cheese. That's right. The most stolen food in the world is cheese. The most cut food in the world is cheese too. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Anyways, who cut the cheese? Come on, think about it. All right, here we go. Did you guys know that bananas are berries? And so are kiwi and cucumbers. That's right. Bananas, cucumbers, kiwis are also classed as berries. So this is something I had no idea about. I just thought it was a fun fact to point out. And I just look at the banana kind of differently. I'm like, you're a berry. That just feels weird. I don't know. I don't know. I have trust issues now. I have a lot of trust issues because of this. Because I grew up thinking that banana was just a normal banana fruit, but it's actually a berry. And I just don't know. I might lose sleep over this tonight. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Also, did you know, back in the day, way back when, I'm talking a long time ago, lobsters and oysters used to be food for the working class. That's right. Lobsters are considered the insects, or the sea insects, and they used to be chucked back into the sea or given to servants. And there used to be a law on how much lobster you can serve a prisoner, as too much was considered to be cruel. Too much lobster is cruel to prisoners, says history books and from way back when. Wonder what kind of prison that was. That kind of sounds like a very fancy prison. I don't mind taking a tour of that place. That sounds pretty yummy. It sounds better than my kitchen right now. No offense to my lovely wife for cooking salmon and chicken and steak, but lobster, actually I do the steaks. I grill a little nice steak over the weekend. It felt pretty good. But lobsters, I think, will be something we can add to our kitchen. That'll be nice too. If not, we'll just take a little trip to one of those old school prisons and get a heaping, helping serving. So also, finally, I'll give you this one and we'll take a little break. Actually, I might give you some more. You know what? This is kind of funny. Large groups of pistachios can spontaneously combust. That's right. When you're walking by the pistachio mound in the supermarket anytime and you see them all together, be careful. They could explode. This is true. Google it. It's worth a Google. It's my favorite thing to do. And this is another one as well. For all you folks out there who get really freaked out if they eat a fruit and you accidentally ate the wrapper as well, don't worry, because the fruit stickers are indeed edible. That doesn't mean you should go out and just get a whole bunch of stickers and start eating them like they're M&Ms. I'm just saying, if you had one, it's quite all right. It happens to the best of us. That means you really like your fruit and you just can't wait. Also, finally, this is a simple one. Healthy foods cost up to 10 times as much as junk foods. And this is true. And I feel bad for the UK and all these other countries, especially the United States as well, because might as well, if you want us to be on a healthier track, I think that the salads at the McDonald's or the Burger King should be $1.99 or $1, rather than having the little McRibs and the little cheeseburgers for $1 and the salads are about 5. So that doesn't make any sense to me, and neither it should to you. We're going to take a very short break and have a foodie historian and one of the top chefs in the country right now in the studios in just a bit. Sit tight. We're going to have Chef Mayank Istwal on the hot seat right next to me. Yours truly, Anil Suhani, on Late Night Vibes with Anil Suhani here on NTV Houston. Sit tight. We'll be back.
Season's best sales event, Ron Carter Cadillac delivers 0% APR for 72 months plus $2,500 bonus cash on all 2020 XT4, XT5, and XT6. Or drive 2020 XT4 Luxury Collection only $299 a month. 2020 XT5 Premium Luxury Collection just $369 a month. And first ever 2020 XT6 Premium Luxury Collection just $399 a month. All for 39-month lease with just $1 down. RonCarterCadillac.com.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service, striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Amazing things for you.
59 और वेस्ट बेलफोर्ड पर है नुक्कड़ ढाबा, जहां के मशहूर जमाना बॉम्बे तंदूरी चिकन, पहाड़ी बोटी, चिकन चटपटा और बटर चिकन तो आप जानते ही होंगे। अगर आप बॉम्बे चाइनीज खाना आप पसंद करते हैं तो जरूर उनके चिकन लॉलीपॉप और चिकन चिली ट्राई करिएगा। और एनटीवी ह्यूस्टन का नाम लेने पर स्पेशल है $99 में कॉर्न सूप। सुबह 8 से लेकर रात के 2 बजे तक नुक्कड़ ढाबा आपकी खिदमत के लिए खुला होता है। For takeout and other inquiries, call 281-575-1178 at the corner of West Belfort and 59, Nukkad Dhaba.
बिजनेस का काम हो या फैमिली वेकेशन, कॉनकॉर्ड ट्रैवल है आपका रिलायबल ट्रैवल पार्टनर। फ्लाइट्स, होटल्स और ट्रैवल बुकिंग्स पे बेस्ट डील्स पाने के लिए कॉन्टैक्ट अस ऑन 713-219-1199 और ईमेल अस at reservations@concordtravelhouston.com or visit us at 2245 Texas Drive, Suite 300, Sugarland, Texas 77479. concordtravelhouston.com.
Being diagnosed with a scary sounding disease can be frightening. Imagine what it's like for your child.
There are over 7,000 rare diseases around the world affecting children.
Join me, Jessica Hatch, along with leading experts to help break down medical lingo, explain why and what their little bodies are feeling. Real faces, real stories, and expert advice. And you can watch us on the biggest South Asian TV network in North America, NTV Houston.
Welcome back to Late Night Vibes with Anil Suhani here on NTV Houston. Thank y'all so much for joining us. This is segment 2 of episode 11. There you go. That's right. And pretty pumped to have my next guest in the studio, in the hot seat. He's a graduate of the Institute of Hotel Management of Guwahati in India. And from there, he's traveled the world. Since then, he's made Houston his home, which is also my home, and hopefully y'all's as well. I don't know, in the future, Texas is where it's at, come through. Anyways, I digress. A very special guest in the studio, has traveled so far and so wide, has done a 100-day, 29-state trip of India to learn and bask and understand the glory of all the herbs and spices and everything in between, and brought it all down here to Houston, and is the executive chef of Musaafer. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Mayank Istwal. Come on down.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I usually do a longer come on down, but I'm like out of breath because there was so much happening. Bro, 100 days, 29 states of India. Holy smokes. And now you're the executive chef of Musaafer, one of the hottest Neoteric Indian restaurants in the country, I want to say. Who, what, when, where, why, how? Story time, bro. Take us through this journey. Take us through this journey.
Okay. So everything started in 2016.
Wow.
So I was heading a hotel in Bangalore, Lalit Ashok, Bangalore, and that was a time when I met the owners of Musaafer. So at that point of time, Musaafer, the name itself for the restaurant, was not there.
Wow,
It was just the Spice Route Company.
The Spice Route Company.
That's the parent company, actually.
Okay.
And then I met the owners, Mr. Shami Malik and Mrs. Guneet Malik.
Okay.
So Mithu Malik as well, her pet name. So both of them, so I met them in Bangalore and I gave them a beautiful chef tasting menu and they were really impressed.
Wow.
Because they were looking for a chef and because they always wanted to open a grand and a very authentic Indian restaurant in Houston.
Yeah.
And why Houston, as you asked, was because they already have like 17 restaurants in West Africa.
Wow.
And Africa being, West Africa being the oil economy. And Houston is also an oil economy.
True.
So a lot of people used to travel like from Houston to Lagos, West Africa. And they have like a couple of amazing restaurants over there. So they always wanted to bring a beautiful restaurant to Houston. And a lot of people said, man, we miss your food in Houston.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
And they then, went on their journey to search for a chef. And I think they interviewed like a couple of chefs in India.
Yeah.
And then we bumped into each other basically at a hotel. And then, as I said, I gave them a chef tasting meal and they were thoroughly impressed. And then this idea popped up, like, let's bring the entire Indian cuisine, like all the food from all 29 different states. Generally, when you see Indian restaurants all around the world, it's basically North Indian or South Indian, very specific to the region. A lot of people don't understand there is whole like 29 different states right there. And we have like 55 different cuisines in India.
That's kind of fair to say because like for like international folks who are not American, they're like, oh, I've had some American food. What'd you have? I had a Philly cheesesteak. Well, we don't have Philly cheesesteak that often in Texas. We're one of the 50 states and we all have our own cuisine. You're
exactly.
right.
So that's what like the cuisine changes in India. It's because of the geographical location or the topography of the country or the history for that matter.
Yeah.
The different influences from Alexander the Great.
Right.
Started then in the BCs and the British recently left and then Portuguese left in the 70s.
Yeah.
When Goa was liberated.
And you won an award, by the way, speaking of Goa, the Goan Award.
Oh, Chef Challenge.
Goa.
Yes. I was awarded the best Goan chef as well, like in 2015 actually.
Holy smokes. Yes. So since you graduated with your degree way back when till now, you've traveled internationally on a cruise liner as well. You're a chef.
Exactly.
You're a chef on a cruise liner. Tell me about that.
Oh man, it was very interesting. Believe me, I've worked in different parts of the world, but cruise liner was really on top of my list. I really wanted to go. And what happened? An opportunity came in and they were hiring. I said, let's do this, man. Let's go to Sydney. And Sydney was my home port.
Yeah.
So we were doing like entire South Pacific at that point of time. We were traveling also entire South Pacific. And it was like working with 42 different nationalities.
Whoa.
Man, that was amazing, working with 42 different nationalities. And at the end of the day, what matters is, doesn't matter which country you come from, what language you speak. Right. I was so fortunate that I was speaking one language that connects the world, that is food.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that was food. And it was so easy to connect with different nationalities. And then I found out that, man, they also, like I was working with few Mexicans on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And I found out, man, they have like salsas and we have chutneys.
There you go.
So it's similar. And then they have tortillas, and we have like naan, rotis, and different breads, man. Then they have like this thing called talayudas. It's basically a very thin, crispy like papad. Okay. And on top of it, they put a lot of different toppings. It's like masala papad.
Wow.
And then they have gorditas, like the stuffed bread. Yeah. And we have parathas, the aloo parathas. There's a long list. If you try to bridge it, it's amazing. So many different similarities between different cuisines. You just have to bridge it right.
You're right, because the first episode ever of Late Night Vibes, I made it very clear that yo soy un Tejano Stani. I'm a Texan, but I'm also of the Stanis. I'm from Pakistan, right? So of the Hindustan, Pakistan, right? Because I love tortilla and I love roti as well. I can't let go of either one. They're right. We're too close by the border.
Exactly.
We can't be discriminating against that. But
Yeah.
that's amazing. Okay, so you're also with Chef Mangan? Am I
No, Chef Luke Mangan, yes.
Luke Mangan.
That was the biggest opportunity of my life, I would say. And he was the greatest chef in Australia, I remember. He was one of the biggest celebrity chef. And I happened to, work for this restaurant, had his restaurant called Salt Grill on P&O cruise ship. And that was amazing. When that opportunity knocked my door, I said, man, this is what I always wanted. And it was all about learning different ingredients. Because for me, ingredients makes the food.
True.
How important the ingredient is, that was something, the understanding of the ingredient, interacting with the ingredients, that was more important. Where the ingredient comes from, what's the native of this ingredient? Oh, it comes from, like tamarind.
Yeah.
Tamarind is native to India. And it was Marco Polo who actually broke it down for everybody. When he was on his trip to India, he called it Tamir-e-Hind. That was the real name of the tamarind.
Tamir-e-Hind.
And then it became tamarind later on. Like it was Tamir-e-Hind actually.
Wow.
And if you see the food history, so that the interaction of the ingredients, where it came from. Like, let me talk about mangoes, my favorite fruit. How about you?
Of course, the king of the fruits right there is the mango.
Mango, you love mango, right?
I love mangoes.
So Alfonso mango comes from the west coast of India,
Right.
the king of mangoes. India grows like 2,200 different varieties of mangoes.
Wow.
And Alfonso is the king of the mangoes. But it's not native to India.
It's not?
No, it came from Latin America. So at the time of colonization, what happened? So the mangoes traveled from Latin America to Europe. And from Europe, and even Europe, like Portuguese, they grow amazing Alfonso.
Right.
But Alfonso found this perfect place, perfect soil type, and perfect weather in the west coast of India. That's the reason. If you have to compare all different Alfonso mangoes, the best Alfonso comes from the west coast of India.
Wow. Holy smokes, man, that's amazing. I'm like learning so much in this little thing, and I'm a big food eater. I don't really cook food or make any kind of dishes my own self, but just hearing the history kind of is like getting me excited. I'm like, I want to travel to these places and understand the differences between mangoes. Wow. Okay, so, and you use the term a neoteric. I mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
And so that just describes something more modern. Is that right?
Yes, Neoteric is a new way of looking something.
Okay.
So that's our cuisine, the new way of looking at Indian cuisine. But having said that, it's a very authentic cuisine because that's the reason we embarked on a journey.
Okay.
Making sure we are bringing the perfect, authentic recipes from the home cooks. Because I believe in home cooks are the best cooks in the world.
All right.
Nothing to take away from them.
You're saying the home cooks are the
best cooks in the world.
Like mothers and grandmothers.
Mothers and grandmothers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you see our cuisine, it was always in the families.
Okay.
And these are all the family recipes. And so that's what we made sure that we are bringing those authentic family recipes right from the sources. There were a lot of mobile locations, you know. And I remember I traveled to a place on the western coast of India, and no mode of transport.
You just walked?
Just walked, because I had a session with the lady.
Holy smokes.
And she picked up fresh cashews. He made a cashew sabzi, like a preparation of cashew nuts, fresh cashew nuts.
Wow.
And of course, a mango panna. And they have a drink made out of the mango, fresh mangoes right there.
Wow, like a frango.
And of course, the kokum. There's the mango steam, the different fruit. It's a sour berry to cook fish curries right there in the west coast of India.
Holy smokes.
Amazing. Like beautiful ingredients that I've never been exposed to.
Man, I bet. Because aside from all this food talk, I'm getting a little hungry. I'm getting a little water in my mouth right now. But aside from these like serious questions about, and I feel like they're not supposed to be serious, but these natural questions we got going on, I shared these with you, but I didn't share the would you rather. So let's play a little would you rather. Something like that, explosion. All right, cool. Would you rather everything you dream each night? Because I'm a dreamer, so I ask this question to my friends who are dreamers, right? I feel like you're a dreamer as well.
Oh man, my Instagram says that, my profile says I'm a dreamer.
There you go. All right. So I checked this would you rather out about dreams, right? Would you rather have everything you dream each night come true when you wake up, or everything a randomly chosen person dreams each night come true when they wake up?
Oh man, this is a tough one. I would rather I think that I'll choose the second option.
To let someone else have their dreams come true when they wake up?
Of course, man.
Well, because you don't really, yeah, I kind of agree with you because I don't really know what I dream.
What I dream, because sometimes I have the weirdest dream ever. I had a weirdest dream ever. Like, I was on a journey to Istanbul.
All right.
Yeah, that was my dream. Like, I was on a journey in Istanbul, and at the Istanbul airport, I was looking like a Turkish delight, and somebody was buying me. Or he looks like a Turkish delight. Because I'm so fascinated with it. It's crazy.
I'm over here thinking, like, I was about to ask you, what is the weirdest food dream you've ever had? But people, in your dream, you were dreaming you were a Turkish delight.
Yeah, somebody
being picked up at an airport.
Yes. At an airport, yeah. And somebody was buying that Turkish, and I said, don't buy me.
Oh my God, wow.
Yeah, so you have sometimes the weirdest dream, and
yeah,
you
I would not
like
want to wake up. I wouldn't wish that on my enemies, to be woken up and being, bought and utilized, at an airport. It's so crazy. But wow, okay, interesting insight. There we go. I got another question for you. Here we go.
Yeah.
So, you worked alongside, like we mentioned, some of the top chefs in the world.
Yes.
Chef Luke, Chef, I don't even know. You actually were a chef to some of the biggest Hollywood, hit maker actors and actresses.
Oh, yes.
During that film about the Marigold.
The best exotic Marigold hotel.
Exactly. So Richard Gere, right?
Yes.
And Dev Patel. What was it like being the chef for some of the top Hollywood, names?
Man. It was amazing. Believe me, when first day, I was quite nervous.
And Judi Dench too.
Oh, Judi Dench too. Judi Dench, I was like alongside with her. Took her around the entire hotel.
What?
Took her around to our beautiful, lavish green gardens in Udaipur.
Okay.
The hotel name was the Lalit Hotel.
Lalit Hotel.
Oh man, beautiful, beautiful hotel right at the lake. And I cooked for them for 2.5 months. They were there. It was like family. We used to talk like normal stuff. Oh, where's your wife? And are you planning for the kids? I told them I already have a kid. Like, it was like amazing.
Nice.
Talking to them and talking about life. And food was, of course, they loved the food. They said something about your food that we feel very young and healthy. So I told them it's all about Ayurvedic cooking.
Okay, Ayurvedic cooking.
Yes.
It's hard for me to pronounce because I don't speak that much Hindi or that much.
Yeah.
But Ayurvedic cooking, what does that entail?
Okay, so basis of Ayurveda is on like 5 different elements of life.
Like herbs or spices?
No, 5 elements of life.
Okay, sure.
Like earth, fire, matter, and all these things. And then there are 3 doshas in your body.
Okay.
Vata and the pitta, all 3 different doshas. So you have to understand your body structure.
All right.
And you might be you may be suffering from a specific kind of dosha. And to eat right is very important for that season. Like in the summers, you like to have the cooling food in your diet.
Yeah.
Not like garam masala was only meant for the winters.
Right.
Because it means the blend of the warming spices. But Ardesi people, they don't even realize that.
They just put everything every time, all the time.
And then they complain of the heartburns and digestive issues. And it's so for the summers, it was always cooling spices. Every spice has its own nature.
Okay.
So like cardamom, the green cardamom,
Yeah.
have a cooling nature. On the other side, the black cardamom is warming in nature.
Oh, wow.
At the
okay.
same time, saffron has a cooling effect to your body. Then fennel seeds, cumin. So you need to start consuming all these spices and try to make blends of these spices for the summers.
Wow. Okay.
And of course, for the monsoon, your body requires a lot of immunity.
All right.
And you need to incorporate a lot of immunity booster spices in the food.
Right.
So that's very important. So that's what we do in Musaafer.
Oh, interesting. All right.
We make sure that we change the menu every season, and we make sure that we are changing our spice blends. And even the spice box changes, according to the season. There are 4 different menus in 4 different times of the year. And of course, as I said, the spice changes, and the recipe changes.
Recipe changes.
Because there are few recipes that are only good for the winters or good for the summers or for that particular season.
Wow, okay, this is interesting. I don't think I've ever been to a restaurant, maybe because I haven't explored too much of the world, that kind of shape shifts with the seasons. That's really awesome. I think that's amazing stuff. Let me ask you a really quick would you rather, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back in just a moment. Let's see. Would you rather wake up every morning with a few $100 bills in your pocket, but not know where they came from? Or would you rather wake up with a few $50 in your pocket and know exactly where they came from?
$50 for sure where it came from. For me, it's very important where it came from.
Really?
Oh, yes. Believe me. Because I don't want to be a spot, man. Because I work really hard. Taking this question seriously because I work really hard. I really want to know where this money came from.
Exactly.
Is it mine or not? I just want to be sure.
I get you. I probably would have said the same thing. Yeah. I concur.
Yeah.
We're going to take a very, very, very short break. And when we come back from this little break, we're going to have more with Chef Mayank Istwal of Musaafer, Houston. Sit tight. This is Late Night Vibes with Anil Sohani on NTV Houston.
During the season's best sales event, Ron Carter Cadillac delivers 0% APR for 72 months plus $2,500 bonus cash on all 2020 XT4, XT5, and XT6. Or drive 2020 XT4 Luxury Collection only $299 a month. 2020 XT5 Premium Luxury Collection just $369 a month. And first ever 2020 XT6 Premium Luxury Collection just $399 a month. All for 39-month lease with just $1 down.
RonCarterCadillac.com.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Amazing things for you.
59 और वेस्ट बेलफोर्ड पर है नुक्कड़ ढाबा, जहां के मशहूर जमाना बॉम्बे तंदूरी चिकन, पहाड़ी बोटी, चिकन चटपटा और बटर चिकन तो आप जानते ही होंगे। अगर आप बॉम्बे चाइनीज खाना आप पसंद करते हैं तो जरूर उनके चिकन लॉलीपॉप और चिकन चिली ट्राई करिएगा। और एनटीवी ह्यूस्टन का नाम लेने पर स्पेशल है $1.99 में कॉर्न सूप। सुबह 8 से लेकर रात के 2 बजे तक नुक्कड़ ढाबा आपकी खिदमत के लिए खुला होता है। For takeout and other inquiries, call 281-575-1178 at the corner of West Belfort and 59, Nukkad Dhaba.
बिजनेस का काम हो या फैमिली वेकेशन, कॉनकॉर्ड ट्रैवल है आपका रिलायबल ट्रैवल पार्टनर। फ्लाइट्स, होटल्स और ट्रैवल बुकिंग्स पे बेस्ट डील्स पाने के लिए कॉन्टैक्ट अस ऑन 713-219-1199 और ईमेल अस at reservations@concordtravelhouston.com or visit us at 2245 Texas Drive, Suite 300, Sugarland, Texas 77479. concordtravelhouston.com.
Being diagnosed with a scary sounding disease can be frightening. Imagine what it's like for your child.
There are over 7,000 rare diseases around the world affecting children.
Join me, Jessica Hatch, along with leading experts to help break down medical lingo, explain why and what their little bodies are feeling. Real faces, real stories, and expert advice. And you can watch us on the biggest South Asian TV network in North America, NTV Houston.
Welcome back to Late Night Vibes with Anil Sohani here on NTV Houston. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Segment 3 of episode 11. That's right, 11. Do a lot of editors. Do a bunch of crazy things if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. But we're sitting with Chef Mayank Istwal, the executive chef of Musaafer in Houston. Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying. And off the air, we discussed prior to the show a few things about the show and about your life and your journey. And I always wonder about this, for every single guest I have. What are the top 5 values you hold most dear to your life? And you gave me the answers of family values, respect for my roots, where I come from, passionate about what I do, food and its history, and finally, aspiring. Holy smokes. Those are very, very out of the box, ways to think about values. And I haven't had a guest so far think about it that way. So I got to say, let's just start off in the last year, in 2020. I don't like to just talk about 2020 because it's behind us. Get it over with. It's over. Not the best.
I want to
year.
delete it, man. From
How have your family values been impacted during such a wild ride of a year of 2020? Have they been impacted in any way? And if so, how so?
I would say not impacted, but it was like, just give you an example about my daughter.
Sure.
I always try to give her family values, and I always try to tell her that she should speak the language like Hindi.
Okay.
Very important. She
Sure,
should not give away, because she goes to the American school, of course, and she speaks English. That's very good. She's learning that language, and she speaks one more language called Marathi. That's from my wife's place.
Marathi.
From Maharashtra, one of the state on the western
Okay.
part of India. So I just made sure that she's speaking the language, and it was hard keeping up with her, because sometimes she watched cartoons and everything, everything in English. But try to give her like family values in the way like how to eat right food. I know she's too young. She's like 5 years old.
She's 5 years old.
Yes, very important. Like a good time to go to bed, and then wake up, like basic things, catching up with them, and then respecting the elders.
Okay.
That's very important, because where I come from, we always touch our our elders' feet in the morning.
For like blessings.
Like
or...
for their blessings.
Gotcha.
It's very important for her to learn all that.
Okay.
And because it was crazy times, for her to meet her grandparents in India. So it's very important. We made sure that she is going to India.
Okay.
And spending time with them to learn the family values. It's very important. Respect for each other, being more humble at the same time. Just about my daughter. And then of course, for me as a chef, I make sure that I impart those value at my workplace. Respect for each other, very important. Before I'm a very good chef, I have to be an excellent human being.
Oh yeah.
I cannot be a good chef, if I'm not a good human being. So making sure, that's what I tell my wife and my kid as well.
Wow.
That's what my father always told me, and mom told me, that you have to be a great human being to be something good in life.
Wow, that's amazing. Kudos to your parents for instilling those values, and for you to continue instilling those within your kiddo. So for 5 years old, she was born in the country. She's a first generation American.
No, she was born in India.
India, okay.
So she was like 2 years old when she came out. Same like you.
Same like myself.
Yes.
All right.
And then we are expecting a new baby as well.
Congratulations.
During June, yeah.
Man, that's big. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So, with that, did you bring her to India more recently? Like just recently, like this past year, 2 years ago?
Oh, daughter.
Your daughter, yeah.
So my wife and my daughter, they came in 2018 actually,
okay,
in the month of
years.
December.
Okay.
Couple of years, yes.
All right. So, since they've been here for a couple of years now, have y'all visited back? And has she seen like...
Oh, yes, once.
Okay, so has she changed in any way? Because like being born in somewhere and then move away and then you come back to visit, was she like kind of like accustomed to everything still? Or was it like a culture clash for her, being in America?
I think she's too young for the culture clash.
Right.
But she started saying that I'm an American. That's good. All right. It's fine, yeah, because she goes to the American school, and it's fine. I totally get it.
Nice.
So for me, it's more important she has to be an excellent human being. That's what I tell her all the time.
Indeed,
respect.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Respect for each other.
Exactly. It takes respect to reciprocate and so on. So I respect that you respect.
Yes.
I used the respect 3 times in one sentence. I feel like I should get an award for that. But what I'm saying is, I've got another funny question coming your way. Would you rather have all animals feel compelled to obey you if you come within 10 feet of them? Or be given the opportunity to genetically design a pet that will be loyal only to you with the combined DNA of 3 animals?
Oh, man, I would love to do that.
All right, so
second part, I would to make my own pet animal.
All right, what would the animal consist of in terms of DNA?
Of course, loyalty.
All right.
Because I used to love my dog.
Okay.
I don't have a dog here, but we always had a dog in India.
Okay, so loyalty from the dog DNA.
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
Because it doesn't matter how bad your day is, how good your day is. The dog will be the same with you.
True.
Man, people change.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about dogs. He will treat you the same.
So what would be
loyalty?
Okay.
So, cat.
Dog loyalty. Cat for?
Cat for her cleverness.
Cleverness. All right.
Cats are very clever.
Yeah, true.
I like that about the cats.
I grew up watching Batman, so Catwoman,
Yeah.
I get it. You're right.
Yeah. And third would be power of an elephant.
Elephant. I didn't see that coming. All right, elephant.
The power of an elephant.
The power of an
Cleverness
elephant.
from the cat, loyalty to me, and power from an elephant.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm curious. I'm
Very
thinking
good
about what it's going
combination.
to look like. I'm just thinking.
I have no clue.
That sounds like an amazing in DNA combined animal right there. So if you're watching this, PETA, we're joking around. You know, PETA, they take everything so seriously. We're just joking around, PETA. We're not going to make a laboratory-made, animal of some sort. At least not yet until we get the technology. But the point is, no. But yeah, that's amazing. Okay, cool. So, to go further into that, the list of the values, your second response being, quote, respect for my roots and where I came from, right? Why is it considered so important? I only ask this because, I also migrated here, as we mentioned, when I was about 2 years old from the country of Pakistan. And, I've yet to go back. So I'm not sure if I do go back, like, what am I supposed to be looking for in that sense is the question I'm internally trying to answer. And hopefully maybe your answer could probably help me guide my answer.
Of course. So, I have a lot of respect for my roots where I come from, because if I read about the civilization, being one of the oldest civilization in the world, that power of knowledge that you get.
Right.
So very important for me, because when I look back, at the civilization part of it, so one of the oldest civilization in the world, the Indus Valley civilization, so much to offer to the world. And if I have to list down 10 things, what came from the civilization, it's amazing. The first thing is the toilet.
Right.
The second is the drainage system was given to the world from the civilization.
Okay.
Then number 0. Aryabhatta, one of the scientists in India, gave 0 to the world. Imagine mathematics without 0. Doesn't exist.
Interesting.
Now Kama Sutra was given by Indians to the world. Yeah. And as a trigonometry, geometry, and there's a long list.
Wow. Geometry, trigonometry.
There's a long list that comes from India, and then of course the plastic surgery was first performed in India.
Wow.
If you see the oldest evidence of plastic surgery, it was performed in India first, and then it traveled to the world. So we have such a rich heritage, a rich culture, and I learn a lot every single day, and I just think I just know the drop in the ocean. So for me, going back to the roots is like connecting. And whenever you go back, you will see amazing results. And maybe you get some kind of inspiration from there. And man, you never know, as I did. So I invented Ayurvedic spice blends, the art of Ayurveda and the spices combining together, giving people healthy spice blends. So where I did that in my hometown, Dehradun, where I come from. So Rishikesh is the next city, and that's the yoga capital of the world.
Yes.
And it's all about the health benefits that you get from the spices. It's a medicine.
Okay.
And if you do it wrong, you do it wrong completely. And that's what people are doing it wrong. And that's what we try to promote Ayurvedic spice blend in the restaurant as well. Very important.
So you did the 100 days, 29 states of India.
Yes.
Each one of those places that you have visited, right?
Yes.
You got a little bit of every. So does every single state have a totally different blend of Ayurvedic stuff as well, or is it just like Ayurvedic is just a certain way to
It's a certain way
bring it
of
together?
bringing it together. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
So every state has their, as I said, own cuisine. Like state of Maharashtra, 10 cuisines right there. State of Kerala, 6 cuisines.
Wow.
So it was amazing, like how diverse the entire country is.
Yeah.
The water changes, the language changes, the taste of the water changes, the language changes, and how people look changes.
Yeah.
And then you go Kashmir, it's totally different, and you go to the South India, Kerala, it's totally different. Two totally different parts in India, and it's one country. That makes it so beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
And
that's I'm so proud where I come from, the roots.
Yeah.
It empowers me. Then the knowledge of the great culture and the heritage that we carry. So
I feel you. I didn't even see, being from Pakistan, I forget that Pakistan was once India, and then my grandparents were Gujarati as well. So
we are the same, man.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's so interesting.
We are the same. That's what.
Wow, I'm learning so much as we were watching and doing this show right now.
Yeah.
I got a couple questions as mentioned. Let's see. Would you rather live in a house with a see-through wall, or see-through walls in a city, or in the same see-through house but in the middle of a forest far from civilization?
I think in a forest.
In a forest?
Man, I love nature.
You love nature?
Love nature. Because where I come from is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful.
Have you went camping before?
Oh man, I come from the foothills of the Himalayas mountains.
Oh, okay.
Up in the north. It's,
All right.
it's extremely beautiful. So I would rather like a see-through glass house in the middle of a forest. I will love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Like I would love that.
Well, you just won an award. We're gonna give you a house. No, we're joking around. We don't have any, I'm not Oprah. I'm not. This is not one of those things. But yeah, that's interesting. I agree. Plus, if you got the city, then you're gonna start like whatever you do, everyone can see you. And if you're in downtown or something, we're gonna cause so many traffic jams. They're gonna be like, "What is this guy? Is that guy? What is he shaving his beard?" Like this is gonna be a terrible mess. But I agree. Forest would probably be the ideal. All right, here we go. And this is something I always say, right? Life is constantly changing, right? This is something true, right? And to the point that the only constant left in life is change.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And so, has your passionate, that the answer you gave, passionate about what you do, how has that changed throughout the years? Or has it always been food from the get-go? Or, you know what I mean? Like what has been, like, has it changed in any way? Or has it always been the same passion that you've had throughout your lifetime?
It's totally changed. What it was, as you rightly said, I'm a strong believer of that. The change. Yeah, change is the only real thing.
Right.
Yeah. So when I started, I remember I was like 8 years old with my dad in his catering business.
Wow.
Yeah, learning how to cook, and then later on, I wanted to be a great chef.
Yeah.
It was always about me to be a great chef. That was my passion.
Right.
To cook the best cuisine in the world, best food in the world, and I was really moved by the Western world at that point of time, and that was the reason I went and worked in Australia and for that matter in Europe.
Wow.
So I really wanted to explore that food. So it was all about me in the beginning,
Right.
but slowly climbing up the ladder, in terms of getting higher roles in the kitchen, I realized it's not always about you. It's all about your people. Because it's just all about people. Taking them together as a team is very important. And in the future, I always think about the future, but not too much, because I want to be in the present. True. So that's what my passion for present is, making sure that I'm taking care of my people, the ownership at the restaurant at the same time, and taking everything together for one single goal, that is to create, of course, the best food in the world in terms of flavors and in like a sensory kind of experience, but nutritious.
There you go.
Very important, the health aspect of it. And passion always changes. I have my passion for the food, so I also cook at home for my wife and my kid.
What's
Very
that like,
important.
by the way? What's that like? Did they get the whole Musaafer experience as well?
Oh,
or did
no.
they just get like something simple?
I generally don't cook very much Indian food because I was a trained French and an Italian chef for a very long time.
Oh, wow.
And I won the Best Italian Chef Award in India amongst the Italian nationals.
Wow.
That was amazing.
Wow.
And that was the time when I thought I achieved it.
Yeah.
But why I started cooking Indian food that's an interesting story too. One Italian guest walked into my restaurant one day, and he was so fascinated with the food. He loved it so much that he told the waiter, he could not stop. He had tears in his eyes, and he said, just call your Italian chef. I want to kiss his hands.
Whoa.
And then I walk in. He looks at me. He said, "Oh, you're not Italian." Seriously, this happened to me, that you're not Italian. I told him I cooked your food. Then he said, maybe you're replacing your chef on your off day today. Wow. I said, no, I cooked your food. And, but still he appreciated. And, then I went inside the kitchen, 120 step, I remember. And there was a big mirror inside the kitchen.
120 step? What does that mean?
120 step. I took 120 steps inside my kitchen from the restaurant.
Okay, all right.
And when I saw a big mirror, because most of the time a lot of waiters, they used to groom themselves in the back area when they enter the restaurant. I saw myself, man. I said, man, I'm brown. Maybe it's just that I've been cooking all my life European food. I started with Indian food, and I was always fascinated by the Western world. Still I am. I love their food styles because every single country has great to offer, great food.
True.
Then I thought, I should be cooking my own food. Maybe that will help what I really want to achieve in life.
You looked in the mirror and you said, I am brown.
Let me cook my own food first. Stop running behind for any other food. I could be the best Italian chef. But that changed my life completely. And that was the time I took another job. In between, I took some rest, went back to my place. And one of my friends said, why you here? You're always working. Why are you on leave? Then I told him, man, I don't know. I just went abroad, learned everything from best of the chefs.
Yeah.
Here I am, man. This incident happened to me. I am completely moved by that. In a good way, of course,
Right.
but I really want to cook my food. I want to study more about my culture, more about my food. Then you know what he said? He said, do you know about a very famous band called Beatles?
Yeah.
He said, Beatles came to our place and they wrote a song on my city called Dehradun. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
It's unreleased version. He said, they came here. They were nothing at that point of time. They were learning sitar and everything right in Rishikesh and Dehradun, where I come from.
Yeah.
And look at them now. So they came here to refine themselves, like to revisit in their own self.
Yeah.
And that's what they did from yoga and everything. So he said, Bill Gates came here, Steve Jobs came here for self-realization. And look what they have done. They have done amazing in the world. So you were always here. Everything was here. But you were running around.
To find yourself.
He just completely changed my way of looking at life. And then I started working on my own cuisine. And then my grandmother handed over me a journal given by my grandfather. And it was all about the research on the Ayurvedic herbs.
Wow.
And then I invented this new thing.
Boom. And what is this new thing called?
Ayurvedic spice blend, the healthy spice blends, basically.
There you go.
Yeah, and then I got a new job in Bangalore, and I did a food festival regarding the cooking on the Himalayan salt bricks, the healthy way of doing a barbecue.
Yeah.
With the healthy spice blends, making it everything healthy.
There you go, man. And just to be clear, healthy as good for you, and not like healthy because I was a fat kid growing up, so my mom used to call me, oh, he's a healthy little boy, like healthy. Just to be clear, we're on the same page. We're talking about healthy, not healthy. All right, cool. All right, cool.
In terms of nutritional value of the food, of course.
Perfect. All right, cool. All right. Let's see. Would you rather be so afraid of heights that you can't go to the second floor of a building, or be so afraid of the sun that you can't even leave the house until it's raining?
I'm not afraid of the heights because I've done 3 times I jumped from the plane. Actually, I did skydiving.
Okay.
So I think I would rather say second.
That's
so afraid of the sun, I would say.
Only coming out when it's raining?
When it's raining. I love rain, so I don't like actually the sun. I love rain.
Okay.
I love rainy season.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. I think that's perfect for me.
You're welcome to Houston. You're perfect here. You're gonna love it here.
I love it here.
You mentioned aspiring. This is the last question I'll ask you. What does aspiring mean to you, and how has it made it to your top 5 values?
Wow. So aspiring to be, as I said, to be not the greatest, but the best human being, an excellent human being. It's aspiring every day. Aspiring to be a good husband. Aspiring to be a good father. Aspiring to be a good colleague, aspiring to be a great chef, of course. So, chef is at last, but aspiring to be a good human being. That's aspiring for me. In every term, whatever role I play in day-to-day life, I'm an actor. I'm playing different roles every day, and that's everybody's an actor here.
True.
Because I get really motivated with a lot of great movies, so I think I'm an actor every day, but I aspire to be a best husband, best father, best chef, best colleague, everything. That's my aspiration.
Wow, beautiful, man. That's beautiful. That's inspiring. Your aspirations are inspiring me. How about that?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah. I'll ask the last question, and I know this went on longer than I expected, but I'm so happy to have you here. Yeah. Let's see. Would you rather be fluent in all languages and never be able to travel, or be able to travel anywhere for a year but never be able to learn a word of a different language?
I would choose the second one again. I love to travel.
Really?
For me, language doesn't matter, the fluency of the language. For me, what matter is I speak one language, that's food, and it connects the world. So I know if I'm able to speak that language, the food part of it, good for me.
There you go.
I travel, I connect with people just like this.
100%, man. So what did you bring for food, by the way? I'm hungry.
Oh man, believe me, you're coming to Musaafer.
All right.
Of course, we have a chef tasting waiting for you.
All right, I'm excited. There we go. I guess we could wrap up because honestly, and I actually did want to ask one more thing. You talked about, and I read on your research, by the way, you're looking to actually visit Mexico for a few months?
Oh, I visited Mexico.
You visited Mexico already?
Oh, yes.
What was that about?
So it was all about for this project.
Okay.
So when I came here, I used to think that I really know Mexican food, but it was Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex.
When I came here, I thought again that I know Mexican food, and again it was Tex-Mex. Then I met a Mexican chef. He said, "Man, this is Tex-Mex. You need to travel to Mexico if you really wanted to know about Mexican food." And that changed my life.
Wow.
And I took a flight to Mexico, stayed there for like 3 months.
Wow.
3.5 months, 4 months. And that was amazing. It opened my eyes, the culture, and as I said, the bridge between two different countries. Now, chilies. Everybody think that chilies came from Mexico, right? It's cultivated in Mexico. But actually...
It's not?
So chilies are native to Bolivia.
Oh, wow.
It used to grow in the wild.
Wow.
And because, the birds used to eat the chilies, and, they actually kind of take chili seeds to different parts, so they brought chilies. The birds actually brought the seeds of the chilies to Mexico, and then Mexican people realized it's a wild fruit, but let's start cultivating. So first cultivation happened in Mexico, but the native for the chilies is Bolivia.
Okay.
And then from Mexico, it went to Europe, and from Europe, it came to India.
It went all
It's
around.
just 400 years ago, we got the chilies in India. And India is the largest producer of chilies now.
Wow.
And imagine the one single spice that changed the world, black pepper.
Black pepper. Black pepper.
Black pepper changed the history of the world. If I have to touch base that, Christopher Columbus was looking for India in the 14th century. And what he did, he lost his way completely to India. He landed up here in Bahamas and West Indies.
Yeah.
And he thought that he is in India. That is the reason the natives here are known as Indians.
Yep, correct.
And second thing which actually messed up in the part of history was he was looking for black pepper, and he could not find black pepper here because it never used to grow here. And it was the chilies here, the fruit. Chilies were the fruit in the 14th century.
Wow.
But he was looking for black pepper. He tricked everybody. He gave a new name to the chilies, called it chili pepper.
Wow. Okay.
The moment he did that, overnight, beautiful Serrano chilies became Serrano pepper.
Interesting. Wow.
Jalapeno chilies became jalapeno pepper, and now the confusion started to address food. Now everything is spicy for people, but there's a difference between spicy and chili hot.
Chili hot.
Chili hot, if you put tons of chilies in the food, that is chili hot. And spices are like when people make their food flavorful with the spices.
Right.
Like vanilla. If I tell you my vanilla ice cream is really spicy, that means my ice cream is flavorful because vanilla is also spice. So there's a confusion.
Vanilla is also a spice, ladies and gentlemen.
So it's flavorful. So spicy is flavorful to me. And that's what we're trying to change, how people address their food. Spicy and chili hot are two different things.
There you go. Wow, learning so much today right now. This is exciting. I want to thank you so much for coming down and making this interview happen. If you want to say anything to our amazing listeners and guests out there, this is your time to shine, bro.
People of Houston, you have been very supportive. We opened Musaafer right in the middle of pandemic. And believe me, we are so thankful to you. Keep spreading love. Keep coming to the restaurant as you always come. Keep supporting us as you always supported us back in this last year. And we hope the same this coming year. We change menu every season. So believe me, we have so much to offer. And I want to thank on this platform, Mr. Shami Malik, Ms. Mithu Malik, the owners of the Spice Route Company and Musaafer as well, because they have changed my life, bringing me here, of course. And a special thanks to my entire team at Musaafer, front of the house, back of the house. Guys, you make me shine. Thank you very much. And people of Houston, I'm really thankful to you. Keep supporting us.
All right, that's what's up. Thank you so much, Mr. Istwal.
Thank you very much,
And
brother.
hope to have you on again to talk about the next spices, the next season.
Of course.
And for all you out there listening and watching in at home, thank y'all so much for joining us. This has been Late Night Vibes with Anil Sohani on NTV Houston. Peace.